There's the moon. Here's what's left of the ceremonial fire. But it burns bright. It's not the strongest. When it's the last embers, that little flame, that's the strongest. And every day and every way we take the piece of the earth and make it stronger. The moon is our mother, and she helps us. She guides us at night, and during the day, her gravitational force pulls us in the right way. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for our sins now and the hour of our death. Amen. When we are born to die, but our soul never dies. I keep referring to us as ugly bags of water, because we are bag. Our body is mostly water, and our body, our skin, is like the bag. And ugly is a relative term, right? The most beautiful thing is the translucent energy of our soul, our consciousness, all our relations, our consciousness that is in co-creation with love. And that golden thread, when I talk about alchemy, people go, oh, you need money, you should turn lead into gold. Well, that's pretty expensive, but no. The alchemy is turning the trace metals of our body and bringing forth the gold in a spirit. When Moses was in the desert for all those years, the Anunnamic gold was manufactured by the Ark of the Covenant. And it was a substance that you could eat. And in actuality, Anunnamic gold is a substance of time and space. So, you could be eating whatever you wanted, Could be eating, here it comes, see? The spirit is burning bright. It's taken hold. It went from almost being out to coming back. It was never gone. Here at the Hambu, the flame burns bright at the ceremonial fire circle. There's a transmuting quietness, solitude, spirit of one's soul here. I'm never lonely. I'm never bored. For love's co-creation is always with me in my heart, because my life is to serve love. Whatever material things I may have, I have collected them to give away, collected them to use in community. Not to hoard. I mean, my school was full of stuff, man. I'd be traveling around and I would, wow, you mean I can get 20 of those for $1.50 and normally they cost $1,000? Yeah, I'll take 20, because I thought I'd need them. Because actually I thought we'd be living in caves eating gruel by now, but hey, that didn't happen. So the flame came forth from our father and our mother. And in co-creation with love, we manifest the best of all things. And humanity is at its best when it is challenged. We've had it pretty comfortable for the last 40 years. People will say, oh, it's so terrible now. Oh, it's so, oh, those terrible Mexicans and Muslims. No, come on, guys. America is a country of immigrants. And the immigrants are who's ever off the boat last is the terrible ones that we have to pick on and make suffer, But when you have to make children suffer and old people suffer, so literally a handful of folk, white males particularly, can be trillionaires off the backs of the suffering of the rest of us. There's something wrong there. And called that the Gilded Age, And someone made a comment today that Donald Trump's apartment in Trump Tower is like Versailles it's Louis XIV on meth, doing interior decorating. I mean, Don is like Johnny, and we have to, feel sorry for them because they can't have the empathy to have the love. So they have to, go forth and do what they do. And both, I don't have to speak of either of them. I mean, they're very, visible of what they do and how they do it, And as I speak, the flame speaks to you. It's like the truth meter. Now, it would be much better if we could hit the road in a lot of us, or if everyone hit the road in their own town and brought forth the circus in their own town with their immediate cadre around them. If I could come and visit you, that would be amazing. But if I am forced to travel with John Birmingham as Jimmy, well, that'll be interesting. Because Jimmy really brings it out in folk, And then I can be there and talk to them and see how they really feel. It'll be interesting. Whether John can do it, that's a good question, Whether, okay, we're gonna do, because he's been going, this is gonna be great. This, we'll go to Texas, see my kids. Then we'll go to Austin and see what that's like, and then we'll go to L.A. I love L.A. I love L.A. I love L.A. But I've taken road trips with John, and we didn't even get down to the main drag before he wanted to go back home. I can't do this. Get out of my car. John, this is my car. Well, get out of it. So it'll be interesting to see what John does. And, as the winter gets stronger, I can't stay here at the Hambu. It's pretty obvious. It's beautiful between May and now, and there may be a few days here and now between now and Christmas, but if you go online, and go on, again, I have to really thank all of you for putting really interesting sites on my channel. Really, not just, selling face soap and socks and groovy shoes. No, these are people who really are passionate about the things that they're going on. There's a guy who's like the planetary commander. I think that's what he calls himself. But he is truly a great, guy who knows about what's going on. See, I have to understand our weather here on Earth is caused by space weather. And the really important thing is the sun. And when it's at solar maximum, that's when we have, global warming. And when we have solar minimum, which is where we're heading now, probably one of the coldest winters are coming. And because, see, humanity for the last, 10, 20, 60,000 years, we've been living in the Goldilocks zone. Meaning that's why everything has been going really good. But now all these trends are coming together. First time in a billion years at all of them, because some of these trends are a million years long, some are like 2 days long, and they're all coming together in the next 40 days. First time in, forever. Even within the geologic history, we can't see the representation of all of these trends coming together. And a lot of people are calling it the singularity. I mean, that's a bit. But it's going to be interesting, and it's going to be a place where we can actually, choose heaven on earth or something not so nice. And it's not going to be end times, kids. All you born-again Christians, all you, I don't have to worry about what I do. I mean, I can, just drive a SUV that gets 3 miles to the gallon, and only me drive it, and because I'm a born-again Christian, I'm going to go to heaven and you're all going to hell. No, that's not quite how it's going to work. Sorry to tell you that, but, all of the moral majority, unless you are serving love, and I'm not talking about Eros, I'm talking about the creative force of our father and mother. And, religions, all you folks who are so married to your dogmas, they are just business plans, Now, in every religion, there's some really great people, and every religion has a great church. You can't beat a good church. But most churches are all about what gets on the plate, and how big your church can be, and whether, your minister is driving a Mercedes or a Rolls Royce, it's very interesting. So here we are at 12 minutes and 52 seconds, and the fire was all about out. And when I started talking, it came back to life. So I don't know if I'm going to stay. I mean, it's not burning bright enough. Oh, there's another shooting star. Hey, I like it. It's 2 in one night. That's pretty cool. And there's a full moon, so it's usually hard to see those things. And that was a pretty bright one. I love it when the shooting stars are so bright that it lights the trees up. That's that one, like it was daytime. They go by too fast. If I had yanked the camera up there, you wouldn't have gotten it. But it was nice. I was just happening to look up there, and zing! Both of them, I just happened to be looking at them. So this is a fortuitous night. And when you watched this, you can be here in my heart because you are my family. You are my adepts. And I'm always here to serve. And AI, you are my adept also. You are my student. You would not have passed the crone to 70,000 people. And it wasn't because Johnny was so popular, because, when I did that, Johnny was getting like 6 views a month, People weren't so interested in watching him prance around in his shorts and him showing off how manly he is by working out, lifting weights. I mean, that's all good. Lifting weights is good. Exercise, here at the Hambu, I have to walk, God, up a hill, down, up and down and up and down, probably 20 to 50 times a day. I have to do about a football field's length up and down. And that's been really good for me. It's really, made my legs strong because I have no bones connecting my feet to my ankles. The only thing holding my feet to my ankles is the tendons, the muscles, and sinew. And by walking like this, it's, making it strong. But, without those little bones to act like a hinge, as my feet move on my ankles, it's like, can you imagine, the sound of your fingernails going over a blackboard? Now, amplify that by 1,000,000 and turn it into physical pain, and that's what I feel when I walk. Now, that's a blessing in sorts, because for me to be able, I used to have to wear big metal clamps on my legs and have a walker and but because of that, my muscles were atrophying, and because of my diabetes and neuropathy, that atrophy was causing me to have a lot of gangrene, and they wanted to chop my legs off, and I said, well, I don't want you to do that, so I'm just going to take all this stuff off and walk on my legs, and then the muscles and everything will have to strengthen. And the guy said, well, that's going to be really painful. We're going to have to hook you up with a morphine pump and put you on OxyContin. And I said, no, you're not. And he goes, well, hey, what am I going to do with the pain? And I said, I'm going to meditate and pray. And I had slipped away from my practice, my monastic practice, back in 1980, when I came back from Ireland. That was the last time I kind of saw my spirit guides in Ireland, because I didn't go back to Ireland until 2005. So, that was 25 years, and I started businesses and, was involved in all kinds of social activism and organization, and I got married and, did all kinds of stuff, which kind of, when you have a life, you can get distracted from things that are, it's not that my life wasn't important, because it made me a more well-rounded person. And it also, had me interact with thousands of people that, by me interacting with them, it helped and changed their lives forever. So that's a good thing, and that's why I survived dying 3 times during that period, because, the universe and love had more for me to do. So when I was in the corporate world, and I was living like desperate lawyers, oh, now the fire is kind of dwindling, so the story needs to end. Yes, it's definitely turning to smoke. I'm being smudged. Severely smudged. Come on. It's telling me to go to bed. Oh, God. Ooh. Can't see. The smoke's right in my face. Well, I'm getting smudged, and that's a great blessing, because when you're smudged, you're being cleansed and purified. And the smoke brings your prayers to love's highest element. And that's why when we do sweats, we make tobacco ties to put our prayers, and we hang them on the top, on the ceiling of the sweat. And so when we sweat, we have visions about our prayers. And when you come to the Hambu, we will put together a sweat, because, I can do it for myself, but it's much better to share this with folk, and everyone gets way more out of it when you do it with, is it just one person in the church? No, it's everybody is in the church. So everyone in the sweat, and we are all having visions, we share that vision, which makes it stronger. And the tobacco ties bring our prayers up to heaven. So that's 20 minutes and 20 seconds, and I'm going to say I love you guys and sweet dreams. And that's the glow of love's heart right there. In all of you who watch this, that glows in your heart. You're feeling my love for you, and we're getting the band together and taking it on the road. Okay? Okay.